So 3 years ago, I turned a corner on how I viewed money and finance in general and started to build wealth. I had to stop the financial waste and build an investment fund, or a pay yourself first fund. So I set a target of $10,000 in 12 months, a little over $800 a month. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through how we got our $10,000 target, even though we were up to our eyeballs in debt. And if you're still struggling to hit your target of $10,000, I've got another strategy for you. Now, $10,000 was a significant enough amount to get started investing, but also a realistic goal to hit. Now, at the time, we were tackling our credit cards and our lines of credit, so we can use our salary to tackle this. We had to find this money from elsewhere. We were going to find these funds from doing a budget and from cutting back. And considering what we were spending every month, we were up for the challenge. But before we got started, I really wanted to address how we were going to save. We had never done this before, and I wanted to make sure that we weren't set up for failure. After all, this was our first time doing anything sensible with money, so we were a bit nervous, but very excited at the same time. Now, I knew from my research that some of the traps that people have fell into when trying to save is missing a month and spending the money on something else, and I wanted to avoid this at all costs. So the first thing I did was actually change how I viewed saving money. After all, up until this point, we really hadn't saved any money at all. So a change in mindset over saving was definitely needed. I'd always used saving as a bit of a chore, probably stemming back to my parents encouraging me to try and save when I was younger. I should have listened. So instead of making it a hassle, I wanted to make it an exciting thing, and imagined I was sending it to the future, to my future self. I viewed it as making future me wealthy, and that really resonated with me. After all, I had no DeLorean time machine and no Doc Brown, so this was the only way I was going to get wealth to future me. On a serious note, the other thing we did do was keep our kids in the forefront of our minds during this whole process. We want to help them succeed in life as best we can by building a foundation for their future too. So making the small sacrifices now and investing the money for our future selves really made it less of a chore and a little bit exciting. And it's little mindset changes like that really helped us on this journey. So getting back to budgeting and cutting back. You have to sit down, work out what you're spending and where you can save. Now, if you sit down properly and do this month to month, I will guarantee you will be shocked at the discretionary purchases and the impulse buys. Takeout, clothes, new shoes, beauty products, a bit of pampering at the salon, some treats from the store, it goes on and on. There will be some significant savings and some places you can cut back on. Treat yourself? Absolutely. You should not live like a monk. Keep it within reason and have a perspective on it. What I would do in the early days is imagine having a passive income from one of my investment accounts. To be able to treat yourself to a weekend away or a new outfit just from the passive income. Your assets will provide you with a lifestyle once they have grown and matured. The more you can invest over time, the faster your assets will be able to provide a lifestyle for you. And invested properly, not only will the income always be there, but it will grow over time. It will just take small but consistent sacrifice. So up until this point, being poor with money, we were looking for all the tips and tricks to get us ahead. One of the great ones I found is when I paid myself each month, I would allocate the money into different accounts. Now, some of it will be paying for your non-negotiables, your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, and your food bill. But the rest of it, you should move into different accounts for its different purposes. A portion over here for your emergency fund, a portion over here for your discretionary fund. You get the idea. So for our $10,000 fund, we set up a high yield savings account. Now, as it says in the box, this account will give us high interest, and we had to give 30 days notice before we took it out, which was great because we didn't want to touch it. Now, it may seem a bit cumbersome and a bit contrived to divide our funds up into different accounts, but it really did take away the temptation to spend it on other things. And not only did we hit our targets, but we could also see each account growing, and it took away the stress of keeping track of it all. Thanks for watching today's video. If you're finding some value, subscribe below. I've got a lot more coming down the line, and I'd love you to be part of the community. So by minimizing the risk of failure, we were totally maximizing our success. Personally, I found it the perfect way to manage our funds and to make sure we hit our targets. At the time, we managed to put about 10% of our salary into the investment fund. So we found a way of managing with 90% of our salary. Today, we put 20% of our salary into our investments. But back then, 10% was an achievable but tough goal. So where do we save? I found the biggest win in saving was planning ahead. After all, doing things last minute always cost me money because I had no time. So now instead of spending money, I spent time. Here's what I mean. Instead of buying takeout every day, I would meal prep my lunch and my snacks and take them with me to job sites. Instead of buying tea, I like my coffee, but I love my tea. I would bring a small portable kettle and my cup with me. Between my lunch, my snacks and my tea, I was saving over $100 a week. Instead of going to the pancake house on a Sunday morning with kids, we'd have cartoons and pancakes at home. We used credit card points for birthday gifts and shopping. Instead of paying for services like cutting grass and washing our cars, we did it ourselves, often with the kids, and had a bit of fun. Alongside these, we would renegotiate our service contracts. We would go over bank statements and look for charges that we could avoid. In fact, in an afternoon and a little effort, we found our investment fund. Now, we don't need to drill down too deep here on saving funds. I didn't expect myself to drive around for gas for 3 cents cheaper, and I didn't expect to save pennies in a jar. Are they pennies anymore? Dimes? Nickels? Your time is valuable, and there's a ceiling when you're using it to find savings. Save well, but save smart. We found we made the bulk of our savings in the kitchen on a Wednesday afternoon. The point I wanted to make is the amount you need to save every month already exists. You're just spending it on other things. Things that we'll need to replace to hit our goal. With a bit of planning, a bit of detective work, and a bit of creativity, we can replace it and put that into our $10,000 fund. Now, if you're still struggling to get the full amount to hit your $10,000 target at the end of the year, we can go the extra mile and earn more. And even if you are on target, you could be a real winner and earn more and hit your target even faster. So for the extra funds, you could do extra hours at work. You can pick up a part-time job at weekends, start a delivery or Uber service. You can give lessons to students, start an eBay store, even launch an online business. You get the picture. Find a way to get to your monthly target and hit your $10,000 fund. Now, I know what you may be thinking. I was thinking the same thing. You're going to have to sacrifice some evenings and maybe some time over the weekend. This whole thing will take time and it will take effort. But this is what we need to do to get our $10,000 fund. When you get to 50, you'll understand that everything worthwhile will take time or money or both. Your $10,000 fund will help free you financially, but it will cost you. You will need to do something that most other people are not prepared to do. You'll have to put in extra work and extra time. It's the winner's mentality. You do what it takes. All that matters is a result. And in this case, all that matters is getting that $10,000 fund so we can invest it and build your future. And just going the extra mile and doing that action immediately takes you out of the 95% group and puts you into the 5% winners group. It's a group of doers, a group of winners, people that are prepared to go out there and build something for them and their families. And that is all part of your mindset growth and journey to wealth. It's not all about dramatic changes and lifestyle choices. Often it's small changes in our habits and our daily lives that compound into bigger changes over time. And as you make these small changes, you'll find your mindset will be adjusting to accommodate your new life. It will be one that views money with a different lens and manages money a lot better. It will be a life that you invest and grow wealth for your family. And it all starts with a collection of small steps and a small habit changes. And before you know it, you'll start achieving goals and start setting bigger ones. So that's how we save $10,000. And you can do it too. You just need to believe in yourself and break it down into smaller targets. The rest will follow. Thanks very much for watching the video today. I truly appreciate it. But before you go, there's a video in here how we made more money.